Hey, hallo, herzlich willkommen zur neuen Ausgabe. Oh, dude, I'm saying it in German. I'm so sorry. Hey, everyone, welcome to the next show of Three or Two of a Kind. Welcome, Kevin. I'm so sorry. I was still so in German. I totally forgot. We do this in English. So this is full in English. Please don't turn off. It's going to be full in English. It's all going to be good. It was just me doing a little up. Yeah, sorry about that. How are you?
You just want people to pick up a little bit of German along the way.
Maybe a little bit. How have you been? Kevin? Okay, Kevin just froze. I'm going to just say hello to Meow. I'm here waiting for you guys. Great, you've been waiting. Here we are as well. Yeah, please leave something in the comments. If you're watching, leave something in the comments. We're really glad for everyone posting something in the comments. And actually, we promote every comment here to the show. So even if you don't like us, coincidentally, a lot of people don't like us, but still, this is the only show that even people that don't like us watch regularly. So
hate it or love it, we're here.
Yeah, that's it. Please leave a comment. Would be nice. Yeah, I mean, it's almost coming. Now the conference season is coming. We just had it last week. Lots of conferences coming up. We actually have just one more week until we meet for SEO Oktoberfest and the G50 Summit. I'm afraid. Yeah, seriously. I was actually at the Theresienwiese because there's a new playground for kids. Amazing playground, 12 meters high, really great to like for climbing and everything. And it's right next to Oktoberfest. And as you know, Oktoberfest is being built up for about like 2 months. So they always, tear everything down, then they build it up again. And by the way, they're even building, like a dungeon or like as a Keller, dungeon?
Basement.
They're even building basements for the tents to actually store the tanks. Actually, back in the days, they used to store the Fässer, the casks. Barrels. Oh, dude, my English today. Horrible.
Oh, good.
Thanks for the trivia here. And now it's the tanks, actually, that they can, yeah, whatever. This is about Oktoberfest. And it's so crazy because you go there and it already looks like it's open, right? And I'm like, it's going to be so crazy. Somebody who's going to be at Oktoberfest next Sunday is this guy, Hans Cronenberg. Food morning to you as well, Hans. Actually, also got a great post from you on that you posted on LinkedIn. I got it here in the show. Really great stuff. Lots of great stuff coming out of Hans's LinkedIn account with gpdinsights.com. If you don't follow him yet, you definitely should. This is
always
awesome stuff right now, and you will see. Yeah, but another guy is also doing a lot of awesome stuff, which is yours truly, Kevin Indig. And you actually posted something. Oh, by the way, Alex is here. Hi. Nice. Great you joining in. Our favorite co-host. And you actually sent out your email newsletter this week. And this time it was about an original study you did together with a couple of guys. Can you fill us in? Oh, and he's gone. Okay. Until he's coming again, because this is also from him. I'm just going to take the next one here. Because Google updated the search quality radar guidelines, and what they did, they added AI overview examples as well as your money or your life definitions. I mean, here it's a very short post actually, and it pretty much says, yeah, it's pretty minor changes, but the great Mary Haynes dug a little bit deeper because she's not convinced when they say, oh, it's only small stuff we changed. No, she's going for the full discovery mode on what Google actually changed in the Google Quality Radar guidelines. And she has some great specific examples of what has changed. Yeah, so 3 examples were actually added to the guidelines, and she's gone through all of those to basically see what has changed in Google's stance in regards to these quality radar guidelines. So there's a weird query. How much does a camel cost? I don't know. It's probably not a high volume query, but nevertheless, there's this guy from Las Vegas, Nevada, asking this. And use intent, find information about the typical cost of a camel. I would think, right? Because how much does a camel cost? And they basically get this AI overview. And it says, yeah, it's not good enough because the user might be interested in many things, such as initial purchase cost, blah, blah, blah. But it's the information in the result is helpful as a starting point, but the overview does not fully address what a user in Las Vegas might be interested in. And this is the interesting part, that in this case, they're really differentiating, because I mean, somebody's asking how much does a camel cost, right? So I would expect like a range of prices, different countries, I don't know, different type of camel, old camel, young camel, whatever. And but here it's their point is that it really didn't take the location into account. And I mean, as I just said, if somebody is just randomly asking this, yeah, there's a lot of it can be a huge difference if you would buy the camel in Africa, or if you would buy a camel in Finland. There's even camels you could buy in Finland. I don't know. So and here I have the context of somebody being in Vegas, I could actually get a very good estimation of what a camel actually costs, because I could look at different businesses, probably like fan it out to Nevada, right? So a fan out query could be how much does a camel cost in Nevada, or stuff like this. So I'm looking at the whole state, and maybe there's just a camel shop in the state of Nevada, and probably this is going to be a much better answer than the general answer what a camel could potentially cost. By the way, thanks for being back, Kevin. I just switched
So sorry.
to the next one, and we're going to come back to it right after talking about these quality radar guidelines. Another example was one which failed to meet the user needs. Djokovic, fastest serve speed. So I really want to have one number, like what's the fastest serve speed Djokovic has ever done. And here Djokovic serve has undergone a number of changes in recent years. His first serve can send the ball over 200 kilometers per hour, and his second serve speed 60. Yeah, this is good, but this is not why I ask, right? I can imagine that it's like different or whatever, but what was his fastest serve? And this is, again, what it says here, it slightly meets expectation because the user is interested in an objective, single, specific fact, and the result doesn't directly provide this. So I think this is also a good example of where an AI overview is just, a little bit too broad. And shouldn't be, because we're using much more computational power, much more resources to actually answer the query, and it's so general while I'm giving you all this context information, so it's obviously not good. And that's the third one, which also failed to meet the expectation. Non-dairy option at Marianne's Ice Cream versus the Penny Ice Creamery, wherever these ice cream shops are. So Marianne's Ice Cream offers 32 flavors of homemade ice cream. Some say the Penny Ice Creamery has dairy-free choices. Some say that it has dairy. What? I mean, like, I can't, maybe I can't eat dairy, or I can, but then I'm like farting the whole time or whatever, right? So, I mean, here wouldn't really matter because I'm alone, but whatever. So I have a specific question, and I need non-dairy options, and obviously this is also not a good result. And so I like actually this update because it also challenges the AI overviews a little bit more and gives a lot of direct feedback on these, because we've all seen like bad AI overviews, and I like that there's also by the enormous amounts of quality raters out there, a correctional force there that will eventually will lead to probably better AI overviews, which actually get all the contextual cues. And since you're back, actually, I have one focus topic, because as I said, this week you had your newsletter, and in this newsletter you had a great goodie, because you actually did an original research. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about it? And he's gone again. You gotta be kidding me. It's always when... Oh, Kevin? Okay, that doesn't work. can you try to get a little bit better internet? I will just go to the next one here. So I got a next piece here on search engine land. Marketers aren't ready for geo. And there's a survey, and that survey was from a digital marketing firm, Centerfield. I actually don't know how many people they asked. I could probably... here. Ready Study was an online poll. Yeah, 878 US marketers. Yeah, small panel, and an online poll. But yeah, whatever. Let's see what they say. So 63%, or so, about roughly two-thirds of marketers said their company isn't investing time, budget, or staff in geo. That's crazy. I mean, like 2/3 of the companies that's saying, yeah, you know, they're like a fundamental shift is happening, but I'm not taking part. let's just watch it all unfold, and then we can see what we do. That's pretty, I think, negligent of what you should be doing right now. But of course, I mean, and he's gone again. And then 9% of marketing resources are allocated on geo on average, just 9%. Obviously, that's not a lot, compared with 24% for SEO and 36% for social campaigns. So we see there's still a lot more budget, a lot more resources going to SEO instead of geo, and even more in social campaigns. And I think, especially with social campaigns, obviously you have a much better, or a much better ability to really track conversions here, to really see, if something when you're posting there's actually moving the needle, in comparison, obviously, to SEO or geo, where it's always like a little bit further down the line when you can actually, gather the fruits that you sowed. I hope that was correct English. I don't even have Kevin to tell me. No, that was horrible. So I hope you guys can understand me. And by the way, 1/3 of marketers said they have a good or expert understanding of geo versus 70% for SEO. That's also crazy. 1/3 of them say a good or even expert understanding. And I don't have an expert understanding. I'm amazed somebody else has expert understanding in this new craft. But nevertheless, I think this is a typical SEO, right? We see something and we're like, oh yeah, we conquered that. Yeah, so quite interesting. But nevertheless, please keep in mind this was an online poll and also a very small panel. Kevin, I'm afraid to ask, because always when I do the lead in of like, hey, you said and you did an original study, tell us more about it. This is the time when you go. I mean, like, really, if you don't want to present it, I'm fine. It's like when you're like really embarrassed of your own work. I get it. We've all been there.
I'm just shy.
Really
hey, Marcus, I'm just shy. I'm just shy. That's a problem.
Oh no! Again? That's a joke, right? And he's...
It'll get better. Oh, are you kidding me?
Now.
Good Lord.
Last try. If you go again, I'm doing this by myself.
I need my...
I'm just going through that.
Yeah. No. You should, absolutely. Look, I need my AI doppelganger to just replace me when my internet drops. That's the plan, okay? Apologies for the mess. You can hear me now, right?
I can hear you, and I guess
okay.
people listening as well.
Good job. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so let me explain this. It's actually quite interesting, because in March, we conducted the first ever usability study of AI overviews. And we analyzed the data, but what we did now over the summer is we built a RAG engine that allows us to take the transcripts and the annotations of the study and store it in a database, and then use a mix of retrieval and LLM, so ChatGPT-5, to contextualize these findings. So in a plain way, we're able to understand the results of the study at a much, much deeper level. We had over 100,000 words of transcripts just from the study. Okay, so pretty rich in context. And so a couple of things that we found, I think if I boil it down to the most interesting finding, it's that we found these 4 different situations or intent patterns that users find themselves in. And it really impacts how they interact with the AI overview. So the first intent pattern is people just want quick information, right? It's a very efficient intention. So maybe they want to convert time zones, or they want to convert, liters into gallons, like a very quick question. And of course, they get a quick answer and they leave right away, right? These users, they don't scroll, they don't click. It's basically just, give me the answer as a utility, and then people leave. Okay, that's number one.
By the way, this would be a Google zero-click answer just as well, right? How many
100%.
liters are in a gallon, whatever, right? So it's basically the same thing, just a little bit more expensive, probably.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Long term, Google probably doesn't need an AI overview here, right? It's that would be perfect for a featured snippet. But anyway, this is also not monetizable for Google, so maybe they don't care as much. But I assume they will save cost for these types of prompts. The second prompt is much more interesting. That's where people are validating from a trust context. Okay, so what that means is they're looking for queries like, is creatine safe to take? Right? Is something safe? Is something worth it?
I just took it this morning. Please don't tell me otherwise, dude.
No, I think everybody should take creatine. I don't know what Google's AO say, but you have my vote. I take creatine too. Anyway, so this is a prompt where even if you get a good answer from an AI overview, you still want to click on an authoritative site or domain so that you basically check, right? You basically validate the AI answer. So that's where companies still can get clicks, much less than before AI overviews, but still clicks and high value clicks, right? So in your keyword research, by the way, you probably want to factor in all of these intent states so you know which ones get you traffic and which ones get you really important traffic, right? So if you are going after a validation click, every click counts. Every click is of very high quality, right? This is a high stakes prompt. The third one is comparative intent. So I think the simplest form is something like, what is the best sneaker for Spartan races, or the best shoe for Spartan races, something like that, where in a product context, it's pretty straightforward. People want to compare products, but this can also happen in slightly different prompts. For example, how do you shuffle cards, right? There is, even though people search with a how-to modifier, they still want to know what the best way is to do something, right? So these are not always prompts or queries that contain best. Sometimes they're phrased in a different way, but they have the same intention, right? And that's why this concept of user intent is so critical here. And so, of course, in that case, people also click, and they click much more often to Reddit and YouTube because they want input from other users. So for those types of queries, I want to make sure that I'm present on other platforms, maybe review platforms like a G2. And then the fourth case is rejection. So in some cases, people either reject the AI overview because it's wrong or because it looks untrustworthy, as we've just seen at the example from Mary Haynes, right? In some cases, it's just not accurate or factually wrong, or the prompt is so high stakes, there's so much risk involved that you don't want an AI answer. You want an answer from the most authoritative source. For example, when it comes to visa questions, right? So visa, super high stakes, right? If you mess that up, if you get the wrong information, you might have to leave the country or worse, or who knows.
Alcatraz here.
You go to Alcatraz. And so, in that case, right, you don't look at the AI answer. You want to go to the German embassy site or to the, some government site, right? So, and that means, of course, as a company, as a third party, it doesn't make sense to go after these types of queries. So I think these findings are pretty profound because it means we can now apply them to our prompts or to our keywords and then focus better and manage expectations of where we still get traffic and where we maybe just get some impressions or so.
Really interesting. As a great study. And I love this, that you're also always pursuing like original studies, right? That you try to do your own studies, your own study design, and everything. Because yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, there's this study, that study, whatever, but there's so much. We always find flaws or whatever, but you're like, really, no, I really want to find it out. I do my own study design. I find the own people to do this with, and this is awesome. I think everybody, you should subscribe to Growth Memo, but I really want to second this, that it's just always so great information. You put so much work into this.
Thank you. Just to say it, right? Like, I mean, this costs a lot of money. Just this update costs 5 figures to do this, right? So there's a lot of money involved. So I also embed the videos here in the write-up. In every video, we pay the participant so that we have the right to post it, right? So I just want to emphasize, there's a lot of money involved, a lot of work behind the scenes, and so these insights are really profound. We also have a statistician who consults this project and makes sure that our findings are statistically robust and relevant, right? So we really go the extra work. And there's currently a usability study about AI mode in the works that I'm going to publish very, very soon. And I'm really excited about that one. The findings are going to be insane.
Okay. Yeah. Can't wait to talk about it here in 3 or 2 of a Kind. And you should too. By the way, it fits perfectly, and Hans is there. So let me promote Hans's post real quickly here, because Hans did a very interesting study as well. And this is actually in German. I just put like a C translation here on LinkedIn. Thank you, LinkedIn. But this was in German. And again, you should follow Hans, because this is the type of original research he does. And this is awesome, because what he was trying to find out is how many Google searches will ChatGPT replace. And he did this actually, so he analyzed this with the help of the Deval 25. And he created a corpus of 1 million German language prompts from the DACH region, which were like prompted within in the first half of 2025. And what he's trying to do is basically categorize these 1 million German language prompts into different buckets. So the first would be Google Substitute. As I said before, right, how to convert liters into a gallon or whatever. This is a typical question people could also ask Google. And we have a lot of questions like these, which could, just as well be answered by Google, because actually it's, in a lot of cases, it's a right or no, as a right or wrong answer. Obviously, everybody should be able to do this. So who's the current chancellor of Germany? Everybody knows Angela Merkel. We all love her, right? No, I'm just joking. Explain the difference between gross and net. What are the I mean, this is like very typical stuff, right? This really, there's a right or wrong. There's a right answer you can give, and you could just as well ask it as Google. Then you have queries that just don't have a substitute. There's prompt types that just don't appear on Google, like rephrase my text in a more professional way, right? Mean easy to understand summary or stuff like this, and Google will be just like, what? Maybe I should probably try to find these words or something like this. Probably like from a Reddit user who's trying to convince someone to do something, or what would surface, right? Because Google can't do it. I mean, like they could in AI mode, but obviously this is not an AI overview, any type of comparable answer. And then you have follow-up prompts. 30 to 40% of the corpus are follow-up prompts. This is also very interesting. Obviously, you have the same with Google. There's a lot of refined searches, right? You start with a search and you just basically go down the rabbit hole. You do a lot of refined searches. Here, you have just the same thing. You have follow-up prompts. Could be all different kinds of use cases. Then you have the methodological adoption. What does that mean? A prompt on ChatGPT replaces an average of 1.2 to 1.5 Google searches. Obviously, right? Because I already have the fan out, right? It's already been fanned out. Yeah. So obviously, I have answers in my answer that are coming from different queries. And I think this is also where this percentage comes from. So like a ChatGPT search can be like an equivalent of 1.2 to 1.5 Google searches. Yes. And here, what he says, out of 1 million prompts, 160,000 to 370,000, that's a quite wide range, by the way, have a Google equivalent. This results in 190,000 to 480,000 replaced Google searches. And now it's extrapolating this to 2.5 billion prompts per day worldwide. And then he goes to a thing for Germany. He basically comes to the conclusion that it's about 24 to 72 million Google searches being replaced by ChatGPT. And by the way, obviously, this is something, I don't know if this is correct or not. I mean, like, I just love how he takes this methodology of how would I go about trying to find out how many Google searches are being replaced by ChatGPT. But never forget, there's a lot of queries in here, like the ones we had up here, right? Who's the current chancellor of Germany? There's no monetization, right? There's no monetization, so Google doesn't earn money with these clicks, right? So there's not really, I mean, like, obviously you want to have somebody in a current search session because he might search for something different, you know, best wireless headphones. Oh, there's a transaction query. But a lot with these information and queries, Google is not making any money out of it. So this is also not making a dent in their balance sheet, right? So just to take this into perspective. But nevertheless, I really like this research here from Hans. Very well done. And you could do the same for your country. And this is, I think, why I also promoted this, because you can just steal Hans's idea, Hans. But the idea is so great. You can be from Romania, you can be from Spain, from Italy. You can go and basically do the same, post it on LinkedIn. I think you get a lot of shares, maybe some national news recognition, because this is really good research, right? Although it might be not like 100% correct. Great stuff, Hans. Also Hans really has awesome ideas. Let's get to something what you are posting on LinkedIn, which is also very interesting. What's going on with Bing? What's going on with Bing? You posted this, and I'm like,
what's going on with Bing?
It's weird, right? I mean, like, probably LLM scraping, but would it show up like this? And I don't know. What do you think? And it's direct traffic.
No, I think if it was LLM scraping, yeah, exactly. It's direct traffic, number one. And if it was scraping, then it would have, we would have seen this trend much sooner, right? So I think this, this must be real, I think. I also looked at, like, was it like, did any search engine lose some traffic here, for example? I wasn't able to find that. So nobody lost here. Bing just gained. I couldn't find any news event about Bing. Like, did they just announce a new distribution partnership, or did they just, I don't know, deliver 100,000 laptops to some school? I don't like. It's something that would make sense. I haven't found it, but interestingly, a lot of people commented and said that they also see more referral traffic from Bing. So I cannot explain this, to be completely honest, but I have these reflexes. So I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm sure a lot of listeners do the same thing, where every morning they might spend a couple minutes just going to Google Search Console, going to Google Analytics, just like checking the stats, just getting a feeling for the stats and the numbers. Yeah. And I do the same thing on a regular basis with just a couple of comparisons, right? Like ChatGPT over time, ChatGPT versus Google. And then I stumbled over Bing and I saw this trend. And again, it matches referral traffic from Bing. And so I haven't been able to explain what drives this, but it is real. It doesn't seem like it's related to LLM scraping. And it poses the question, what times are we living in, right? Reddit is one of the most visible sites, an old forum. Bing is sending more traffic over. Atlassian buys a browser. What's going on here?
What's going on? Yeah, we had this when ChatGPT launched. Lily Ray was doing the SMX Munich keynote, talking about Bing back then. Like 2 years ago. I mean, I loved it. This is what I love about our industry, because you could have asked her, like, just 5 months earlier, hey, like, in 5 months you would be delivering a keynote on Bing. Do you believe that? And she would, what? Not in a million years, right? And this is what happened. So yeah, I think this is what's happening. I mean, this is just all. It's all different all of the sudden, but it's exciting. This is, I think, the exciting part.
This is
Hello? Oh, we're losing again. No.
5%.
Oh. No. No, again. No, now it works. I think he might have said something. Okay, let me continue. Maybe he finds better internet. So yeah. Okay, because we all want to know how to optimize for AI search engine. And there's a nice meta-analysis of actually 19 different research studies which focused on, by the way, nice still image. Okay, thank you. Which focused on optimization for AI search engines. A lot of different ones. I mean, like we talked about a couple of them even here on the show, like the one from CNN Active here. So there's lots of shows, and they did a meta study to basically, distill what is everybody saying? What is everybody saying? What you should be doing to optimize for AI search engines? And the biggest correlation coefficient is actually structured content. And I don't really think that it's especially about, okay, it needs to be structured with schema. Nevertheless, we are recommending this, obviously, but obviously this is not like if you structure your content with schema, you're just going to rank better. And obviously, this is not going to happen. What's really the case here is the structuring of the content. A good, logical structuring of your content is already worth a lot, especially if you also do the second part, comprehensive content. If you really have comprehensive content, TF-IDF to the rescue. Now, obviously, there's different methods to making this happen, but this is really what it's about today. You have to really have comprehensive content. Do your own fan out, so to speak. There's great tools from Dejan and everything where you can do your own query fan out and basically see what aspects should I still include in my content to really write comprehensive content. And last but not least, I would say from the three most important things here is brand mentions and digital PR, because I mean, this is more important than ever. You just have to be a brand. You just have to be known. If nobody else knows you, they're not going to recommend you. And obviously, this goes into this EAT plus credibility, because if you have a good brand, loaded up with good EAT, this is all good. So I put it a little bit together. User-generated content and community. I mean, it sounds nice if you're Reddit. Obviously, that's a big factor, right? But I would not necessarily recommend for a site owner to start their own forum or something like this. I think this could totally backfire. So we got to be very careful with that type of information. But nevertheless, structuring your content well, if you do a schema or not, just a good structure that the machine can easily digest the content, easily see, what is what. That helps a lot, having comprehensive content and doing a lot of digital PR, working on your brand. That should be good. And this is basically what all these studies recommend. So I think this is a good way to go. And if I say these three things, I'm like, well, like 5 years ago, asked me about SEO, what's important, I would have said, well, good structure of your content, you should have comprehensive content, and you get a good brand, digital PR, good EAT. I mean, like with everybody, like, oh, this is a totally different ball game. Really, is it? I don't know. But nevertheless, great study. I love the idea of doing a meta study. Again, also for all of you. Again, I think this is a great way to get a lot of links, a lot of recognition, a lot of citations from other SEOs doing meta studies yourself. Yep. This is always great. So great stuff here from Organic Labs. And talking about JGDP or other, it's especially JGDP in this case. I found this news here. AI search sends users to 404 pages, nearly 3 times more than Google. Obviously, this is the case because Google just knows URLs so much better. We just had it last week, like with all the stuff leaking out of this landmark ruling against Google. We heard again that they have a doc ID, and with every specific document, with every doc ID, they know a lot of stuff. And this is what Google knows, but obviously JGDP and other search engines don't know this yet. And this is why it comes to this hallucinating, because they're basically like thinking if an URL, like it would be here, although it's not there. This is just the LLM search engine trying to give me a destination which just does not exist in that place. And this is actually something which could be mitigated by what we heard last week, by this initiative of actually sharing data. So Google sharing data, doc IDs, and all this initial data. And obviously this could help a lot with the corpus. It sounds like corpse.
It is a corpse. Corpse of 4 of 4s.
Yeah, sorry, a little bit scary. And this could help actually basically clean up and that this doesn't happen anymore, because this is, I mean, it's horrible. I mean, like, you search for something, goes against everything we've learned with search, right? You search for something, you click on something, it doesn't exist, and the URL doesn't even exist. That's just horrible. By the way,
interesting though is sorry.
I just want to give the
exactly.
Look at your log files. If you see URLs constantly being like promoted, create it. Create it. Godspeed. Yeah.
Exactly.
Kevin?
Create it, or if you see referral traffic to error pages, then redirect them or show a banner, right? Again, AI referral traffic has much, much higher quality than regular search traffic because users are more qualified. And so every click you get from ChatGPT and Co. is an important click. And it would be, I've seen this with a big company. I'm not going to mention the name here, but it's a huge company that I worked with, and we saw the most referral visits from ChatGPT went to pages that were made up, and they returned a 404. And by optimizing these pages, or better said, redirecting users to the next logical destination, we saw really good results from a conversion perspective.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the click has already been done, right? You just have to recreate the path for the guy to walk on, or the person. Yeah, great. By the way, we had a lot of news this week, and I love this article here on Search Engine Land. Google can't decide if the web is thriving or dying, right? So, I mean, this court filing, I mean, we talked about it extensively. The fact is that today the open web is already in rapid decline. Well, what? Rapid decline? Didn't I just hear, that it's like, I think people are producing a lot more content and see consumers consume a lot of content, right? From our point of view, the web is thriving. Obviously, if I would be VP of search, I would say the same thing, but nevertheless, right? I mean, we talked about it, right? And be basically always saying, hey, give us the data in Google Search Console, search appearance type, AI overview, AI mode, I can filter, UTM parameter, there's so many different ways you could give us that we could actually see, yeah, it's thriving or it's dying. Yeah. So, but put your money where your mouth is, like the Epstein files, release them, and then we can all be happy. And so I think this is quite funny, that we have this. Sorry, I was missing the tangent here.
No problem.
So
Google says web is thriving, right? Yeah, classic marketing ploy, but doesn't back it up with data really. But then as soon as it comes to court, right, a lawyer who knows the implications, because Google's lawyer admitted that the web is declining, is in rapid decline, right? And so you can see that as soon as it comes to court, where any statement could have severe consequences, then all of a sudden, the talking track is not that positive anymore. So I don't know, but I'm like, at which point?
But I would do the same in court, right? It's about like, hey, you're a monopoly, and you're saying the web is thriving. We're sending more clicks than ever. Oh, but please, we're not a monopoly. Please don't do anything to me. I mean, like, obviously, I would say, oh, dude, it's in rapid decline. It's all falling apart, right? We monopoly, dude. It's all falling apart. We're gonna die very soon. This is, but you're correct. You're correct, right? If there's somebody under oath, you better tell the truth, right? And so I think there's a lot of it hints that the web is in rapid decline is a little bit more on point than the other interpretation. Let's say it like this. But what's also interesting, we're always looking at, SEO versus geo, and there's this interesting study, only 62% overlap between Google ranking and ChatGPT visibility, which is quite, 2/3, right? 2/3 of overlap. I mean, we heard stuff like this before, but it's basically what they were asking. If you're doing good SEO, you're good ranking, and will this also help your brand appear in ChatGPT answers? And this is basically what they did. So they had some highly competitive organic search queries, on car insurance, credit cards, hotel booking, whatever. They identified all the SEO top performers in that niche, and then they built a keyword set and basically looked at obviously these are all synthetic prompts. Yeah, they might have nobody might be asking them exactly this way, which is like a common common thing you always have to keep in mind with these kinds of study. But I like the study design that you basically say, okay, we're looking at all the SEO winners, basically. We convert it into prompts that are sort of similar, and then look what kind of brands are being recommended. And this is what they did, and coming to this conclusion. So again, I like the study design. This is not really new, but nevertheless, I really wanted to give you that link to check it out further. Yeah, and we have another thing coming out of search engine land here. ChatGPT traffic rivals organic search engagement. New data shows that ChatGPT users are more engaged than Google users. But AI traffic comes in much smaller volumes. We know that, right?
Yeah.
And I find this quite interesting that we have a higher engagement, which could also be by the fact that I'm actually talking to someone like a person, right? I mean, like I'm talking to the AI, you're talking like to a person. With Google, it's like really just the search box. Could that have an impact on the engagement? Or why do you think there's more engagement with ChatGPT searches?
I think it's because it's a conversation, right? I would love to understand like how engagement rate is measured here, but it makes perfect sense to me. And I think if we were to compare ChatGPT with AI mode, maybe we see more similarities in terms of engagement. But what a lot of people forget is that ChatGPT is a very different environment that started from scratch as a conversational experience, where Google, search engine started as a search engine and now adds more conversational elements to it. But it is distinctly different. And what's also interesting is two things. One, the idea of user intent on ChatGPT is very different, right? Because we don't have these isolated searches. We have one conversation, which means user intent becomes more fluid. It can change very quickly. And the other thing is that because we don't have these isolated search sessions, in a ChatGPT conversation, you can very quickly compress the funnel. So you can very quickly go from searching information to buying a product much faster than on Google search, right? And so I think those two reasons are why we see this difference in engagement.
And by the way, so what they did actually, Siege Media, Ross Hudgens, of course. So what they did, they actually had access to 304 client properties, and this is what they were doing. They're basically comparing the organic traffic against the AI search traffic, and basically measuring the engagement through their analytics. So I think they're quite a smart approach. We have a lot of good studies with a lot of smart approaches these days. As a very,
it's cool to see how many people publish good data. It's like a complete renaissance.
Yeah, but this is again, as an agency, as a freelance SEO, how do you get citations? How do you get people talk about me? And I think a study is always a great way to do this, and especially because mainstream media is totally in this topic now. I mean, like you see articles about AI search engines like almost regularly now in like normal mainstream media, right? Always like, of course, with a different angle, on the impact on different industries or whatever, and providing original research always gives you the chance to be present in these kinds of articles. And I think this as we never had that before, because SEO was a little bit always isolated, so to speak, like we're doing our job, right, in the dark alleys of the internet, so to speak, right? But now there's a bright, shiny spotlight on this new shiny toy, and obviously it's the SEOs who spend the most time like really trying to understand it. I mean, we heard 1/3 thinking they're already expert level knowledge, right? This is SEOs, right? And I think we never had that in the past, that SEOs are now like a lot more present in this larger discussion, and I think it's a great opportunity for freelance SEOs agencies to be a part of this conversation by providing original research.
It's huge. It's huge. And let's not forget, right, how much money is being invested in AI. It's over 500 billion, right, in CapEx that the big hyperscalers are investing. And so, of course, like the media follows the money, right? There's a huge story. And of course, you have all these big claims by AI CEOs saying like, everything's going to change. But then you have like, a trend where junior employees are not being hired and replaced by AI, right? So it stretches into so many facets that I totally agree with you, Marcus. I think this is a great time to invest more into research and ride these trends or narratives, right? Not to say you have to agree with all of them, but there's so much attention because it touches so many facets of society.
Especially not agreeing, especially saying, no, it's bullshit. No, it's bullshit. And I give you another one, which is, and again, great research done by the great guys at MSIF. Does LLM traffic convert better than organic? Right? This is something we talked about. And even like a lot of people saying, hey, you know, don't worry, better conversion. Google said this. A lot of other SEOs said this. And I mean, like we got a little bit of an indication with different customers that LLM traffic, as you just said, you know, it's a little bit more engaged and could potentially convert better. Again, Will put his money where his mouth is and really like dug in. Like let's really see, does it really convert better or not? So what they have a broad sample of websites across multiple industries to ensure consistency and reliable results. Strict criteria have applied when defined the final data set. The goal was to focus only on sites with measurable business-driven conversions. I love this. This is also like really only if we can really measure it 100% correctly, you know, we're going to use it and not like, oh, I think, you know, it feels better. No. Like really, give me raw data. I love it. So this is really cool. So it's always with an event and conversion tracking that you can really definitely see, okay, the conversion has been done, and it's really good. When looking at the average across all sites, organic traffic converted at 4.6%, while LLM referrals converted at 4.87%. Okay, first
so
glance,
more,
modest advantage in LLM traffic, but obviously this is very, very modest. And they acknowledge this fact. However, averages alone can be misleading, and they're actually validating this whether the difference was consistent across sites. So they basically calculated a mean site level difference to basically make it a little bit more statistically correct. So there is a small modest incline could be a little bit better, and then they go into even more. And by the way, this is, I think, the only fact I really want to highlight here. They also compared B2B to B2C traffic. And we can actually see with B2B, we see that LLMs seem to be converting better, which obviously makes a lot of sense because a B2B buying decision is in most cases a little bit more thought out. Either you put a little bit more research into it, right? I mean, like when the boss is telling the assistant, hey, find me the best CRM tool for my small business, she's not like, oh, best CRM tool, buy, right? This is not happening.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot more research into this, right? What industry are you in, right? And an LLM can actually help with that because I can like really state my specific case as a small business in the insurance industry in Germany.
Yes.
What is the best CRM? I will have a better recommendation probably than classic organic search. In B2C, could be a little bit different, right? Although, I mean, like also like headphones or stuff like this, obviously also B2C products. Why do you think it could also be? Do you also think it's just like a little bit more wealth of information? But here we actually see that organic seems to be converting better. What do you think that could be the case?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me because one, the shopping experience on ChatGPT and Co is not that good yet.
Mm-hmm. And he's gone again. It's horrible. I'm just saying hi to Rüdiger in the meantime. Rüdiger, Tag auch. Yeah, great you're pointing in. Oh. Jetzt wieder?
Anytime you talk to me, Marcus, every time.
No, it works again. Yeah, just say it. Just
sorry for everyone. So anyway, my point was that it makes sense to me because I think the shopping on ChatGPT is not that good yet. So people go to Google more, and even AI overviews probably don't have a big impact on e-commerce as much because it's much more transactional, right? So I understand the B2C side, and I also understand the B2B side. I cannot reveal it yet, but I'm working with a company that has gathered a lot of data about how B2B buyers are starting their journey and where they gather research for purchase decisions, and it's on ChatGPT. more than on Google. And it's because of exactly what you said, Marcus. The results are better. The information richness and degree is much, much better. So I love what MSIF is doing here, because they are segmenting the results in a way that it's much more useful. And I completely agree with their kind of findings here. And so as a result, right, because I know that more B2B buyers are starting on ChatGPT than on Google, especially in the enterprise segment, I think we're seeing, we're seeing this kind of divergence where SaaS companies and B2B companies, if they want to sell, they need to really look at ChatGPT. And again, even though the tactics might be the same, the playing field is a different one, right? And so as a SaaS startup, if you're just getting started and you want to enter a category that is very competitive on Google, maybe you just focus on ChatGPT and ignore Google. I think it's a valid question. Maybe not in the long term, but in the short term, maybe you just don't care about SEO, classic SEO. Maybe you just focus completely on ChatGPT, because that's where software buyers start.
But don't care about SEO. I mean, like we heard, like all the great stuff you do for SEO also helps. I don't care about SEO. Well,
no. The tactics are the same. The tactics are the same. No, I agree with you. I just meant like classic SEO playing field Google.
Yeah. No, okay. No, fair point. Okay, 9 more minutes. Let's see what else I have. Very interesting here from Agent Berlin AI, setting up honeypots to monitor AI agent crawling behavior for SEO. This is the great article. We're actually out of time, so I think I can't really go into it, but you should really read this. This is very good. They did a very interesting thing that basically they provided an API with all the data, and basically what they did this with Comet with ChatGPT, and basically tried to capture this AI agent, basically, whether you come with a Comet or you do something with ChatGPT, and he basically needs to verify, get permission, they do have to request the user permission before making the API call, and this is what actually happens here, and so they can really really track it and also do a fan out query discovery, because they basically get the whole fan out. It might have not making a lot of sense what I just said. Sorry about that. It's just a very comprehensive, a little bit more a technical and complicated article. This is why I think it was hard to. I should have asked ChatGPT how can I just summarize this very easily, but I tried myself. I'm sorry for that. I just want to give you that URL. Please check it out. This is super interesting. Such a interesting approach to building this honeypot to get a little bit more insight about the behavior of, in this case, Perplexity as well as ChatGPT. Yes. Then we got this here. There's the new the annual State of SEO report is out. The 5th time they've been doing this here on Search Engine Journal. The State of SEO 2026, How to Survive. And this is a little bit the same that what we already heard today. I think the 3 paths are emerging in SEO. AI heavy adopters are betting on scale through automation. Well, there's always the savvy SEOs who try to, there's a new way to automate something, let's do it. Then we have the authority builders, which are doubling down on EAT and human experience, and the hybrid strategists are finding the middle ground. And I love this, that they put it like these new characters, so to speak, these new personas. And how they work with AI, and what we see again, like in this study here, original content creation still drives SEO success, because this is activity with greatest positive impact. Original content creation, and I think we could add original comprehensive content creation. Obviously, why wouldn't it work, right? I mean, obviously. Content updates, technical SEO enhancement. I think it's a little bit technical, but yeah, we can just agree it's about good content, good comprehensive content. And most critically, SEO tools and platforms, analytics and performance reporting. I think still there's a lot of people who have not found out the perfect solution yet to really track it. And there was a Leda, I think this week on LinkedIn, and she had an interesting poll, and there was I think the second most used tool was GA4. And I'm like, what? I mean, I hate GA4, and every SEO I know hates GA4, and all of a sudden it's the renaissance, and everybody's using GA4 to track that. This is, yeah, I mean, like, obviously I'm using SEMrush, but there's a lot of different software solutions people are using right now. But I was so amazed to see Google GA4 up on the second place here. So I think there's still a lot of room, and I mean, like, we obviously see this also with the investment community basically backing a lot of solutions in these days. You can really see there's still a nice opportunity here, I think, for as companies as SEMrush. And where do the people like to invest more in the future? What's the innovation plan? Human authored content with AI support. I mean, like we're all writing content these days, and Google also said it's okay, so let's do. I like the EAT reinforcement. Okay, like, if you could, let me do some more EEAT. I know it's so bullshitty, right? I mean, like, because to me, that's not how it works. This is not how any of this works. Because, again, we're probably talking about digital PR and brand building, which obviously helps with the EAT. But nevertheless, nice study here from Search Engine Journal, and especially I love seeing this here: recent SEO investment reductions. No reduction in SEO investment. Also, more than half of all companies are saying, "Oh no, we're not reducing, we're doubling down," which is great. Okay, what else do I have? Google is retiring the core Web Vitals Crux dashboard. I hate it. I actually really like this, but there's more. There's better solutions now. And by the way, they're still offering this. As it's still here. You can still. Nee, where is it? Here. There was the link in here with the. Because ich war davor drin. Here, there it is.
Hidden under the ad.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the one. I actually use this quite a lot. I really like this tool. With every audit, I really like this tool. So yeah, it's not that bad. They're retiring the Crux dashboard. They had a lot of problems with the performance and everything. So I think if you really need something, take this URL. It's really good. Yeah, it's also great job from Google providing this, so we don't do it ourselves, take the API, do our own BigQuery board or whatever. You just take it from Google. By the way, if you have used it, this is just going to be null. As at one point when this is actually deprecated, you don't receive data anymore. So you should really be aware of this and change your API calls. Then Google is also dropping reporting on several structured data types. I was like, really, what's going on? But yeah, it's all like minor stuff: course info, claim review, estimated salary, learning video, special announcement, but also vehicle listing. I wouldn't have thought vehicle listing would be here. And they're actually saying they believe this change contributes to cleaner, more focused search result pages for everyone, saying they actually don't need vehicle listing. I don't know. I was a little bit surprised. How do you see that?
Oh, no. They probably get merchant feeds. They probably don't need the structured data anymore. They probably can take it from the feed. But it's also a little random, like, why is Google getting into cars and all these kind of verticals? I get the advertising, the idea behind it, but it seems like very targeted, very specific, not part of a system or like a broader strategy. And so,
but you introduced it, and now you're taking it away. You haven't even built a real product.
Yeah, I think Google doesn't need most structured data, and I think that's a very controversial opinion. But part of this is AI, right? Like, modern LLMs can understand context much, much better than parsing structured data. And I know there is an ongoing battle between, does structured data help you with LLM visibility, or does it not help you? But from what I've seen, in most cases, at least Google, with all the context that they have and the knowledge graph and so on, they can very quickly map any content to entities. And I'm not sure if structured data is that necessary.
They can do it with most of the stuff. I mean, they could also do it with a recipe or whatever. And I think especially recipes and vehicle listings are like the ones where it's like the most straightforward, right? Yeah. Also, car, BMW, X3, model type, how much PS, how much whatever. I'm sorry, I'm not into cars, but this is just it, right? I mean, like this is one of the easiest, I would think, just as our like recipes, right? It's so easy and everything can be perfectly structured. So I totally get it. I'm actually, I think totally the same. We all help Google. We all webmasters help Google, you know, trying to understanding like the also about certain things, because we all structured our data so meticulously. And but I'm a little bit like really amazed why they would take like away after they introduced it, because what's the harm also? But it's like,
what's the harm?
Yeah. All right. Oh, this is interesting. SEO fraud as a service scheme hijacks Windows servers to promote gambling websites. I mean, gambling SEOs always very creative. Again, you should read this, or I should have asked JetGDP how to summarize it correctly, because it's a very sophisticated attack what they were actually doing. But basically, they it's like all SEO spam kind of tactic for gambling. Very creative technique by actually basically poisoning Windows servers. So this is like a really large scale operation. This is not like a small SEO sitting in a room by himself. This is this is state actor kind of SEO hacking kind of things. I mean, what we heard of the likes of North Korea, if you remember that Sony hack and everything, like that's pretty crazy. You know, Gumshoe probably attempts to compromise as many websites as possible and misuse their reputation to drive traffic to this third-party websites. Now, this is exactly what they're doing. They're not just hacking websites; they're hacking whole servers with enormous amounts of websites to basically just hack everything. So this is like a very, very comprehensive approach to trying to scam, do an SEO scam here. Very fun thing. You should definitely read it.
Google bombing.
Oh, we're already over time. I have three more links to you. This is very interesting. Eddie Osmani, a great write-up. Actually, I read it in the newsletter and said 70 minutes reading time. And I'm like, what? 72? What? Why would you write this, right? And it's like the most comprehensive a story about the Google Chrome browser, how it all started, you know, and where we are now. Lots of great information, great graphs on how it has actually... also how it has progressed, how it's become better, what the critical parts are. Great write-up about the Google Chrome browser. If that's interesting, you should check it out. And then, wow, what a crazy news. Ahrefs has acquired Detailed.com, and especially, I mean, like Glenn Elsop. Great SEO. I mean, like this, I like it. I like this guy so much. Would also obviously like to see him at SEO Oktoberfest G50 Summit at some point. But I mean, like, great guy. The studies he does, the research he does, and also the humility. Is it the correct word? As how he goes about things is like, this is unparalleled in our SEO industry, right? As like a very modest, very, I don't want to be in the limelight, you know, and just doing good shit. Also, this is like a real good classic SEO, so to speak. And Ahrefs, I think did a fantastic decision by picking it up, and also obviously his detailed Chrome extension, which I also use. So congratulations to Glenn. Great deal. And also congratulations to Ahrefs. Well done. And last but not least, we talked about Reddit before. Reddit launches Pro Tools for publishers. I love it. Yeah, we talked about it. JetGDP should do it. Perplexity should do it. You know, like really doubling down, get a head start in front of Google. Now Reddit is doing this, and I love it that Reddit is also giving you the opportunity to track the stories, track sentiments, track comments, and stuff like this in that board. I haven't seen it live. I've only seen this article. This really great stuff from Reddit. And that's it. I don't have anything more. I think I'm going to donate to a better internet connection for you next week.
Just bring the telecom technician over here, please. I've been waiting for the whole week, and they just cannot manage to come by. So super sorry to you, Marcus, and to the whole audience for this.
No problem. Next week, we're going to have a very special show, actually, because next week, obviously, a lot of people are also already coming in for SEO Oktoberfest and G50 Summit. And also my boss, William Sears, good old William Sears, is coming on Friday, and I think he should be in the office also before we do our show, and then obviously I would just pull him in into our show. Have a good guest here. And I think we need to start with guests as well, because we were on the G50. We're going to heckle everyone to be a guest on our show. So definitely, you can expect some phenomenal guests on this show. Watch this space. And we start next week with William. William Sears, ex-Disney, ex-LinkedIn. Obviously, you know him, great guy, and he has always fun stories to tell.
Super smart.
So tune in next week again at 4. I promise he will have a better internet connection. Thank you for that.
Promise, yes.
If not, I'm coming. I don't know shit, but whatever do.
Okay.
No, you come here. You come here next week anyway. So it's all good. And he's frozen again. I like these. I can also do that. No, I'm just joking. I have good internet connection. Thank you. All right. Sorry for the here. Thanks for joining in. I hope you had a great show. We hope to see you again next week with 3 or 2 of a kind. And now we would like to temporarily redirect you from work to the weekend. Have a great weekend, guys. Happy optimization, and bye, Kevin.
Take care, guys.